Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live pop-up video and kind of like a little live chat today because I've got several things which I want to get through. I want to talk, of course, about the Queen returning from Sandringham, back to work at Buckingham Palace. I also want to talk about the infamous letter that Thomas Markle released of Meghan's. And I also want to talk about Diana's earrings because there's one important thing that people have actually missed about Diana's earrings. So we're going to get through all of this, but I want to wait for a few people to come first. So I will find the chat room so that I can see you all. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've all had a really fabulous start to the week. I know I have. A little update on Molly for those of you who know who Molly is, and she's in the background there. She is, look. She's on my dressing gown. And what's been the problem with her, I'm just going to say she's been. And she has a vet's checkup tomorrow. So, without further ado, hello to everyone in the chat room. And let's get started. Yeah, she's curled up asleep. So, let's start with the Queen at church at Sandringham. And of course, we're talking about Sunday the 10th, 2019. Sunday the 10th of February 2019. The Queen attended church at Sandringham as is usual when she is at Sandringham for church. Now, in recent weeks she has attended different churches, but she is back to the one which is closest to the Sandringham estate, which is St Mary Magdalene Church. Literally, you know, a short walk from the main Sandringham house. However, the Queen, of course, was driven. She was wearing a really lovely yellow colour, and she wasn't accompanied by any family member, or rather, I didn't see any from the photographs. So if you have seen a photograph with a family member in, do let me know because I haven't seen it. And it is believed that it was a lady in waiting that accompanied the Queen in the car. So as usual, round about 45 minutes for the church service. There was no Philip. Again, you know, I don't think we're going to be seeing Philip at church. As I've said, you know, since Christmas we haven't seen Philip at church, so I don't think we're going to see that. He may decide to surprise us at some point, and if he does, well, lucky us. Now, there has been a little bit of confusion, I think, about the Queen and when she's going to return back to London. Now, we know that she has returned today, but usually within the last few years she has returned to London the day after a session day. And I think that happened, was it Thursday or Friday? Thursday, I think was it Wednesday? Wednesday or Thursday was a session day. My mind has gone blank. So we were expecting her to go back to church the following day. Some reporters had picked up on the fact that maybe she wouldn't, and I'll tell you why I think she hasn't in a moment. Some reporters have been saying it's because of the whole Philip announcement with the surrendering of his driving licence. I don't think it's that. Since when have you known the Queen not do something that has been planned because of a family personal matter? She doesn't, so I don't think it was that. And I'll tell you why, what I do think it is in a moment. So lots of reporters were saying maybe they got wind that she was planning a longer extended break, but I think it was more to do with the fact that we literally just didn't see her on the train. So anyway, I kind of changed my whole mind once it was getting on a bit, and I just kind of thought, well, let's just wait and see if we see the Queen at church at Sunday, which of course we did, which proved that she was still at Sandringham. Now, why do I think she had the extended break? Well, I think it's simply all to do with dates. And as we know, every year that ticks on, the same day each year becomes a different day, doesn't it? So, for example, if your birthday was a Wednesday last year, it'll be a Thursday this year. So what I think's happened is the Queen spends most of her weekends at Windsor. So, because it was a Thursday, I think a session day was a Thursday, so that would have meant travelling back on Friday. So there would have been no point in returning because all she'd be doing is just going back to Windsor, not actually to work, if you're following my meaning. So I think what she's done is because the days have just been pushed on because of the year change, I think it just made more sense to have an extended break at Sandringham and then return back to work on the Monday. So I think it was nothing to do with Philip and the announcement. I think it was just all to do with the dates, basically, and the days. Philip is big and strong enough to take, that announcement by himself. I don't think the Queen would have stayed for that reason. Okay, I'm just scanning the comments. Oh yes, we're going to talk about Catherine at the BAFTAs in a moment. So that was the Queen at church at Sandringham. Now, back to today, which is Monday the 11th of February 2019. The Queen has officially returned back to London. She travelled from King's Lynn Station in Norfolk, which is the closest station to Sandringham, on a train back to King's Cross Station in London. Now, somebody timed the journey. I think it takes 1 hour and 37 minutes, so that is how long the Queen was on the train. And somebody also counted how many days she'd been at Sandringham. 52 days. So her Christmas break has lasted 52 days. From the 21st of December up until Monday the 11th of February. She was flanked by a flurry of royal protection officers, as you would expect, safety first with the Queen. And she, at Norfolk, there is a special gate known as the Royal Gate, and that is what she entered through. Of course, she travelled first class. There is a wonderful photograph out there of the Queen in the window, and on the outside of the train there is first class, and she looks like a stamp. It's really funny. So I like that photo. By the way, I haven't linked to the photographs in the description now, but I will link to them after, once I've uploaded the video and done a little bit of tinkering around with the description. So I will link to the photographs later. But you can find them out there, and you've probably seen them already anyway. Sometimes she actually uses her iPad mini when she's on the train to while away the 1 hour and 37 minutes. It's unsure whether she used it this time, but she was carrying a really big Lorna handbag, not her usual one that was a little bit more roomy. So I think she got lots of things in there to keep her busy. Maybe a Mint Imperial or two, maybe the iPad mini, who knows? I'd love to know what's exactly inside the Queen's handbag. She wore a grey and white coat over what I was trying to think of the colour. It looked like a taupe dress. But she looked lovely as usual, and she looked very healthy and rested, and she was wearing pearl necklace and pearl earrings. And that was it. The Queen is now officially back on duty. Now, I know a lot of you are going to want to talk about Catherine last night at the BAFTAs, William and Catherine. I think a lot of people have actually forgotten about William. He is the main reason that they were actually there. But of course, William wasn't the one wearing a stunning Alexander McQueen gown, was he? I'm sure he would have made the front pages if he'd been wearing an Alexander McQueen gown. But he wasn't. It was Catherine. So, of course, Catherine stole the show in this lovely flowing gown. Do I think she's copying Meghan? No. I think Catherine has worn lots of floaty gowns. It just so happened to be a white one. I really wish people would stop with all this Duchess against Duchess copying business. It's a dress. They are allowed to wear whatever dress they want. It's just a load of nonsense. So I'm not buying into the whole Catherine copied Meghan malarkey. You can if you want to, but I'm not. I just think it's a complete load of old nonsense. So yes, an Alexander McQueen gown in white chiffon. Didn't it look floaty? She looked like a goddess in that dress. I loved it. I really did love the look. Someone found out that she wore Jimmy Choos, and they were classed as glitter heels, and they cost £525 for her glitter heels. She also carried a white clutch bag that matched. Well, of course, I mean, maybe she's got some Mint Imperials in there too. Who knows? Maybe a bit of Windy's. Windy's remedy. Because I heard a rumour that one of them made a joke about trumping. Trumping is flatulence in the UK. So I don't know whether it's true or not, but I heard a rumour that maybe William made a joke about trumping. I don't know. So maybe some Windies in the bag. Maybe she's feeling windy. I don't know. Now, the thing that everyone's talking about, Diana's earrings. These are South sea pearl earrings, which she debuted at the Royal Albert Hall in 1991. I've got my facts here. Now, people, listen up. All is not as it seems with those earrings. The plot thickens. So, what's different with those earrings? Well, the top part of the earring is the same. However, the pearls at the bottom are different. Oh, shock. Yes, she's had them altered. They are not exactly the same earrings. I'm sorry to break it to you. But if you compare photographs of Diana wearing those earrings and Catherine, of course I have, they are different pearls. Diana's pearls were much larger and fatter. The pearls that Catherine has got are much slender. And also, she's lost one diamond from the tip of the earrings. They're quite kind of pointy, and she's had the bottom diamond taken off, and that obviously makes the earrings shorter. And she's had a smaller pearl with a smaller clasp, the little claspy bit that holds the pearl. So the bottom half of the earrings are actually different. She's had them altered. But this is quite common with royals. They do often alter their jewellery. I think probably the reason for this is because the pearls probably looked a little bit too large, or rather Catherine felt they looked a little bit too large on her face. As we know, Catherine tends to go for kind of more sleek and slender jewellery, apart from when she wore the Queen's big diamond necklace, the Hyderabad of Nazim necklace, which looked spectacular, but she wasn't wearing that tonight. But yes, the earrings were actually altered. The top part exactly the same, but the lower part was different. It's new. I don't know where she's had the pearls from. Probably pearls, maybe even some of Diana's other pearls, but she's definitely had the earrings altered. Did anybody else notice that? I don't know. Christine says, I wondered about these earrings. And Mary says, I noticed that the earrings look different. Well, that's what it was. The lower diamond has gone, and the clasp is different, and the pearls are different. So I don't know where the big fat pearls have gone, but they've definitely gone somewhere, because they were different ones. Now, she also wore one of the Queen's bracelets. It's called the quatrefoil bracelet. What a weird name. The quatrefoil bracelet, spelt Quatrefoil bracelet, which previously belonged to the Queen Mother. So, Cameron Raintree says, I love Princess Diana's jewellery, the way it was, but I understand. Yeah, I mean, maybe they just looked a little bit too large on Catherine. Diana pulled off the big ones. And I think Diana looked really stunning in her version. But, hey, Catherine can do what she wants. They're hers now. So if she wanted to have them altered, she can. And in ode to Catherine and Diana, I've chosen to wear the Spencer tiara today. Because if Catherine can wear some of Diana's jewels, so can I. So there we go. Wesley says, that's a tongue twister. Don't do that to me. Says, yeah, that was very 80s jewellery. It was. So she's updated it. She's updated the look, which I think is fine and understandable. Now, I know the one that you're all talking about, because I've seen all the comments whizzing by. The Thomas Markle letter, or rather Meghan's letter that he released. So first of all, I want to kind of clear something up. So people have been saying in comments on the video I made that doubtful about the fact that Meghan wrote the letter. Well, first of all, I think that the language that she used was because she knew that anything she sent to her father ran the risk, another tongue twister, I'm getting all tongue-tied tonight, ran the risk of being released to the public. And, of course, I think she was right. So yes, I think she wrote it in the mindset of that this letter could potentially be seen by the world, which it turned out it was. Secondly, all these people analysing the handwriting. Please, if Molly wasn't there, and because I haven't got my fans tonight because it scares Molly, so I would give it a big black fan flap. Handwriting analysis. I believe handwriting analysis in terms of checking out like who wrote something. You can analyse it to see whose handwriting it is. But I don't believe all this. If you've got a big squiggle, it means this, or if you've got a big long tail, it means this, or if you've got a loopy E, it means this business. So I think that's a load of nonsense, to be perfectly honest. So I'm not even going to give that the time of day. I just think it's a complete load of nonsense. Secondly, people have been saying that noticing the spelling, for example, with the word realise. Now, Americans spell realise with a Z. British people spell it with an S. Now, I think I've solved the mystery of this one. So, we only saw a small portion of the handwritten letter. Now, Meghan's style of writing is very calligraphic. She uses calligraphy with lots of squiggles and lines. Now, this can be difficult for some people to read. I'm okay with it. I could read it. You probably are too, but some people find it a bit difficult to read all the squiggles and decipher, ornate handwriting, shall we say. She has a lovely handwriting, but some people may find it hard to read. So what the tabloids did was they translated it into typeface. So once you've translated something into typeface, probably what the journalists have done is use the British spellings. So I think that's kind of solved that mystery. So I definitely don't think the spellings are anything to go by. I definitely think it was a letter written by Meghan. But the real mystery is why Thomas Markle released it anyway. If he was trying to... Obviously, it's in response to the 5 friends which spoke out. I just don't get it. Why did he release the letter? It doesn't make him look good at all. I don't get it. Was he trying to dispel the 5 friends? Because all that letter seemed to do was validate the 5 friends. It didn't play into his advantage at all. So I don't get it. Why? Why do it? It didn't make him look good at all. It just kind of proved that Meghan and the 5 friends have been right all along. I just don't get it. It just didn't do him any favours whatsoever, which kind of pulls me back to what I've been saying for a very, very, very long time, and that is, I just don't think he gets it. I actually really don't think he understands that what he's doing is wrong. He can't do. Otherwise, why would you release that letter? I know some people have been questioning his health in terms of mind. I don't know. It's just a complete mystery to me as to why he would release it. It validates Meghan and the 5 friends. It does him no favours whatsoever. In fact, it kind of proves everything that they've been saying about him. I don't get it, and I want to know what you guys are saying. Rachel says, I agree, it validates them. Shaliza says, are there any proof of a dispute between Kate and Meghan? No, because there isn't one. Tim says, did Doria ever move to the UK? Not yet. Well, not that we know of yet, anyway. Cassie says, releasing these series of letters shows why the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are remaining quiet. Exactly. I just don't get it. And also, it proves what I said. I mean, I remember saying it in videos. The receipts are out there. If you find my videos, you will find me saying it. Check my receipts. I said a long time ago that I thought the straw that broke the camel's back in this whole breakdown of relationship was actually the TMZ interviews. When he was in the hospital and he leaked everything to the TMZ, that was the straw that proved to Meghan that he couldn't be trusted, and that everything that she said to him could potentially make it back to the press. And I think in that letter, that basically says what I said, and it proves that I was right. The straw that broke the camel's back was definitely TMZ. I think she had basically forgiven him for the series of photographs, the staged photographs. But then came along this talking to the press from the hospital bed, and that was it. She couldn't trust him. But the one thing I don't particularly want is, it's very hard because at the heart of it, we all know that, although Meghan is a fully grown woman, in the eyes of having a father, you know, you're always the father's little girl. It doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're a fully grown woman or independent, and as independent as Meghan is, you're still the daughter. You know, you're still his little girl. And what's really heartbreaking is the collapse in the relationship. The fact that Thomas Markle can't see, or doesn't seem to see, that he's doing anything wrong. I want them to patch it up. I really do. I want them to come back together. But I've said it, and I'll keep on saying it. The only way that it's going to be reconciled is if he proves to Meghan that he can keep it zipped. Now, he doesn't have to keep it zipped. He can talk to whoever he wants about whatever he wants. He's free to do that. He's not a British citizen. He doesn't have to keep it zipped. But if he chooses to carry on talking to the press, he's got no chance of rekindling his relationship with Meghan. Meghan wants him to prove, Meghan wants proof that he can not divulge things to the press. So that's what he's got to do, and it may take a long time, but he just doesn't seem to understand. He hasn't even started to do that. So I don't know. But I don't like to see a fractured family, and I do hope that they sort it out. Because some people don't have a father. Some people have lost their fathers. She has a father. Some parents have lost their daughters. He has a daughter. So it's just a real shame that these two people can't sort it out. I feel like I want to get their heads together and do that. But I am kind of siding with Meghan. I don't think a family member should be talking to the press about you and making money off you. I think it's wrong. So I would implore Thomas Markle, if he is watching, who knows, he might be watching, I would just say, just keep it zipped. That's the only way that you are going to reconcile with Meghan, if that is indeed what you actually want. So I think he has a choice. The ball, I think, is firmly in his court now, and I think he needs to take whatever action he actually wants to do. And going forward, we will all know what that is if he carries on talking to the press. So there we go. Simone says, Meghan did nothing wrong since marrying Harry. I would agree. She doesn't deserve the hate she gets. Well, I would agree with that entirely. Lots of people talking about narcissists. And yeah, I would agree. The truth is definitely out there. The truth always outs, doesn't it? And then Samantha Markle made a comment today, I think, was it on Twitter? I don't know. She said something about if I had 600 million, she'd care then, or something about that. I mean, I don't know where she's getting 600 million. Is she trying to say that Meghan and Harry are worth 600 million? They're not worth 600 million. They're definitely not worth 600 million. So I don't know where she got that from. But I think what she was trying to say is maybe she's implying that Meghan is only friends and talking with people that have money. Maybe that's what she's saying. I don't know. But she did make that comment. Maybe she could elaborate on what she actually means. Merlene Taylor says, the man is greedy, narcissistic, arrogant, and has an entitled mentality. He literally pimped his daughter for media dollars. That is, again, one way of looking at it. Pam G says, the whole thing with Thomas Markle, Meghan, Harry and baby needs to be stopped. I would agree. I do want them to come back together. I mean, it's not nice to have any kind of fracture in any family. But, like I say, the only way they're going to sort it out is if he keeps it zipped. And yeah, so yeah, I do believe that the letter was real. I do believe that Meghan probably wrote it with a view of that it may get released to the media at some point. But basically, the letter just validates her. So I really don't know why. It's kind of like he thought, here, have this letter, it proves that I'm right. when actually it doesn't. It just makes him look really, really bad. So I just don't get it. Taverna says 600 million is in reference to the Queen's net worth. It's a number commonly associated with the totals. Oh, the Queen. Well, no, she's not even worth 600 million. Oh no, we're talking dollars or pounds. In pounds, she's worth, I think it was, I've got the rich list somewhere. I think it was round about 380 million pounds, which is probably, I don't know, 400 and something million dollars. So no, $600 million is wrong anyway. And of course, if you counted all of the Crown estates and the jewels and the art collection, you're talking billions. She's probably the richest woman in Europe. But in terms of personal net worth, the Queen is worth about 380 million pounds. So she's wrong on the 600 million. Elaine says, my mum used to say, never put anything in writing if you mind who sees it. Well, that again is definitely true. Oh, Elaine forgot her bow. We definitely miss Elaine's bows when she forgets them. Yes, I can see another Piers Morgan GMB interview on the horizons. Who knows? Jamie says nobody knows what Her Majesty is worth. Well, yes, it is a guesstimate with the Sunday Times rich list. I mean, they do have a certain formula for kind of getting it in the ballpark, but with all of these figures on rich lists and everything, you can never be 100% accurate. But they do go on some information, but yes, nobody knows truly. I would agree there. But I don't think it's 600 million. Pam G says, you are right about keeping quiet. The pain will still hurt for Meghan. He just needs to prove that he can be trusted, that's all. And Fabulous123 says, Meghan helped him with 600,000 on the lottery, so he's had plenty of money. He needs to... Well, I'm not going to read the last bit. I don't want to get demonetised. Right, and I think I'm going to leave it here because, to be honest, there's nothing more that can be said about the whole situation. I just hope everything dies down. Wishful thinking. I don't think it will die down, but I hope it does. So, Jamie says, the Queen has plenty of cash down the back of the settee. Probably. So, I'm going to leave it here, and I will go back and read all of your comments because I know that I have missed quite a few comments. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also hit that notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. And also, please, please, please do make sure you are subscribed to the channel. It really does help. So, from me in Shropshire, mwah, to you all, goodbye.